We're back with another mock draft video for you today, this time with the third overall pick. I'm excited to dive into this one, but before I do, if you take a second, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and let us know what you think about the team we drafted in the comments. We have the third overall pick, so let's dive right in and see what we can do. So I'm definitely thinking wide receiver in the first round, unless Christian McCaffrey falls to us. In this case, he does not, so I am going to go for a wide receiver. And looking at the wide receivers available, we got Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill that I'm looking at. And I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. If he could stay healthy, I think he could be a top 3 wide receiver. He dealt with a hip injury that caused him to miss some time last season, but he's back, he's healthy, he's on a great offense with Joey Burrow, so I don't mind grabbing Jamar Chase with the third overall pick. And it's back to me, and I'm going to go for another wide receiver here, and I'm going to go with Chris Olave, the #1 wide receiver for the Saints. He has a new quarterback this season with Derek Carr, and we know Derek Carr can support top 10 wide receivers. We saw it in the past with Amari Cooper. We saw it last season with Devontae Adams. Now his #1 wide receiver is Chris Olave. I think he has top 10 upside this season, so I do not mind grabbing Chris Olave in the second round. But it is back to me, and I am going to go with a running back now. And looking at the running backs available, we got Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs here. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff come out from the Lions camp saying that he's going to be used in a Christian McCaffrey-like role, which means he's going to be used in the passing game a lot, and we like that for PPR leagues, so I don't mind grabbing Jahmyr Gibbs in the third round. And it's back to me, and let's take a look at the quarterbacks available. Justin Fields, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott. I'm going to wait on the quarterback position and just get some more depth at the wide receiver position. And DeAndre Hopkins is still available, and that's who I'm going to go with. I think that he has a lot of upside on this Titans team. Before signing with the Titans were very thin at the wide receiver position, so I think he should see all the targets that he wants on this team. So I don't mind grabbing DeAndre Hopkins as my third wide receiver. But it is back to me, and let's take a look at the running back position. We got J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, who I like, DeAndre Swift, Alexander Madison, and that's who I'm going to go with, Alexander Madison. With Delvin Cook out of town, I think he's going to be really productive on this team. We saw when Delvin Cook was unable to suit up in the past, Alexander Madison be able to step in and produce, so I don't mind grabbing Alexander Madison as my second RB. Let's just take a look at the quarterbacks available. I'm going to wait until like the 8th or 9th round to grab a quarterback, I think, so let's just continue to get some more depth here, and let's take a look at the tight end position. Evan Ingram, Pat Freiermuth. I'm going to just go with another running back here. And looking at the running backs available, we got Alvin Kamara, Rachaad White, who I like, Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, James Cook. And I'm going to go with Javonte Williams. He's not starting off training camp on the PUP list, which means there's a good chance he will be available for week 1 against the Raiders. I think he has a lot of upside at his current ADP, so I don't mind grabbing Javonte Williams. Let's take a look at the wide receivers available. Looking at the wide receivers, we got Marquise Brown, Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, George Pickens, and I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson finished as the 8th most targeted wide receiver last season, yet he is falling in drafts, being drafted in the 7th, 8th round. I think he's a steal, so I don't mind grabbing Deontay Johnson. I expect this Pittsburgh Steelers offense to open up a lot more this season with Kenny Pickett going into his second season, so I don't mind grabbing Deontay Johnson. And it's back to me, and let's take a look at the quarterbacks available. We got Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. I'm going to wait on the quarterback position, and let's just get some more depth at the wide receiver position. We got Brandon Cooks, Quentin Johnson, Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, and that's who I'm going to go with, Zay Flowers. I think he has a lot of opportunity to be the #1 wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. I know Odell Beckham's there and Rashad Bateman, but I think he has the opportunity to beat those guys out and be the wide receiver 1 for this Ravens team, so I don't mind grabbing him in the 8th round, but we need to grab a quarterback now. And looking at the quarterbacks available, we got Anthony Richardson, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith, and I'm going to go with Geno Smith. I don't mind grabbing Geno Smith as my quarterback. He was pretty good for fantasy last season, so I don't mind grabbing him. But now it is back to me. Let's take a look at the wide receivers available. We got Rashad Bateman, Jameson Williams, Alan Lazard, Adam Thielen, Jacoby Myers, Rondell Moore. And I'm going to go with Jameson Williams. He is suspended the first 6 games, but I do expect him to be very involved in this Detroit Lions offense when he comes back from suspension. So adding some depth at the wide receiver position. But it is back to me, and let's take a look at our team. We need a tight end still, so let's take a look at the tight ends available. We got Dalton Kincaid, Chigakonkwo, which I like Chigakonkwo a lot more when DeAndre Hopkins wasn't there, but it is what it is. I'm going to wait on the tight end position, grab one later on. So let's just get some more depth here. And looking at the wide receivers available, we got Alan Lazard, Adam Thielen, Jacoby Myers, Rondell Moore, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Boyd, Sky Moore. I'm going to go with Sky Moore here. With Kadarius Toney suffering his knee injury that he underwent surgery on his knee, it was only a cleanup procedure, but he is expected to miss a little bit of time through training camp. They do expect him to be ready for week 1, but it's still up in the air. So I think this Kansas City wide receiver core is going to be hard to pinpoint on which wide receiver to draft. I think my favorite wide receiver is Sky Moore. I don't mind grabbing Sky Moore, adding some depth at the wide receiver position for us here. And let's take a look here, and we got 3 more rounds left, so we need to get a tight end. So I'm going to go for a tight end here. And looking at the tight ends, we got Sam Laporta, which a lot of good reports coming out from the Detroit camp about Sam Laporta, Gerald Everett, Michael Mayer, Irv Smith, and that's who I'm going to go with. Irv Smith, now he's on the Cincinnati Bengals, and we saw last season Hayden Hurst be involved in this offense, so I don't mind grabbing Irv Smith, taking a shot there, and it is on me. And let's take a look at the wide receivers available. I'm going to see what running backs here. We got Dante Foreman, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. I'm going to go with Raheem Mostert. Don't love it, don't hate it. And with the last pick, we need a defense. And looking at the defenses available, we got the Seahawks, Chiefs, Packers, Saints, Commanders, Bengals, Broncos. And I am going to go with the Denver Broncos. And that's going to do it for us today. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Until next time, line them up.